Welcome back at Indianapolis. Pole Day qualifying underway. Tomas Enge, the rookie out of Czechoslovakia, 28 years of age, in the Rockstar Panther racing efforts. Enge hoping to become the third rookie to qualify this year. And when the day started, there were 697 different drivers who had qualified for the Indianapolis 500. If he qualifies, he will become the 700th different driver to qualify at Indy in the 89-year history of this historic event.
You know, Enge came from a background of Formula 3000 driving, and that series is a very competitive spec-like series. You have to be very, very aggressive, and I think you're seeing that in his run. He's very trimmed out as well. His first lap was 2:26.2, almost 0.2. His lap this morning was 2:26.5, so he's on a similar pace to what he could run this morning.
There are three of the owners for Panther Racing. John Barnes looking at you with the headset on, and right of your screen there, that's Gary Pettigo. Doug Bowles on the left side in the yellow and black jacket as they watch their rookie driver attempt to get it in the field here.
I don't know if that...
There is Enge, lap number 4, coming down for complete his fourth lap, currently 5th overall. He is qualifying with 2 broken ribs. He broke 7th and 8th ribs in the back with a hard impact. He actually fell when he was in Motegi, coming out of a sushi restaurant. He fell and broke a rib and then hit the wall during qualifying at a 90G impact, broke another rib. So he sort of had his tough breaks, no pun intended, at Motegi, but now gets the car in the field here at Indianapolis, a 4-lap average and a good average, 226.107 miles per hour, currently 5th overall. As you see the Team Panther guys starting to walk away, they got to be relieved that they finally gotten their rookie in, considering all the bad breaks. Let's check in with Vince, who's standing by with a rookie, Sebastian Bourdais.
Sebastian Bourdais, it's amazing the different emotions that you see down here in pit lane after a qualifying run. Some are happy, some are disappointed, some are confused, and you're a little baffled by the qualifying speed that you posted, Sebastian.
Well, I'm both disappointed for the Centrix team and a bit, confused, because we took out more downforce that Bruno did, and it's not any faster, so apparently we didn't figure it out exactly the way we should, because the thing was real neutrals too loose, and there's not much I could do about it. I wasn't sliding at all. I couldn't nearly touch the steering wheel, so it's about as good a qualifying run as you can get.
You've raced at Le Mans. You're the defending reigning champ car champion. How about your first go-around at Indianapolis?
I tell you that the day of the race, when I hopefully make it all the way through.
Good luck on the rest of the day, and best of luck next weekend.
Thanks.
Sebastian Bourdais, his team needs to get it in the show this weekend because they won't be here at Indianapolis next week.
Indeed, they will not. And here is a 2-time winner of the Indy 500, the popular Elio Castroneves, the only driver ever to come to Indy and win his very first 2 starts. He did it in 2001 and 2002. Let's see what he can do in qualifying as we check in with his owner, Roger Penske, standing with Jamie Little.
Well, Roger Penske's very focused right now, ready to give the green flag. Roger, I know you guys have had your work cut out for you this week, and Elio wasn't too happy with the car. Have you solved the issues?
Well, he looked good this morning. I think that there's a lot of people that are quicker so far, it looks like, but he's a great qualifier. I think he'll get us a good spot.
I'd say 2-time Indy 500 champion and a 1-time pole sitter just recently. I think he knows how to get the job done, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Jamie. You see Roger Penske watching Elio Castroneves. And Greg, I got to ask you, they're talking about the Toyotas not quite having as much horsepower as the Hondas, although Toyota brought a new engine in on Friday for qualifying. They pumped it up a little bit, and Castroneves was the quickest or second quickest Toyota in this session this morning. What can a driver do in terms of getting the speed there on pole day?
Well, as far as a driver, I mean, there's certainly no doubt that all these guys are and girls are trying as hard as they can. They're trying to be very, very smooth. They're trying to get the car in as late as possible, take as much scrub out of the car, and stay flat. It's absolutely mandatory if they're going to run for pole. They got to be flat. And when you're talking about the Toyotas, Roger Penske is the only team that actually uses the engines that he builds. So there might be some differential in there. Roger's got a lot of experience, and they know how to make Indy 500 motors.
Okay, I know what you mean by getting in late. You mean giving the car as much straight as you can before you turn it in. What are you talking about, scrub?
Well, what you're trying to do is you're trying to lengthen the straightaway as much as you can and apex late, which means it gives you a lot of room at the exit, allows you to, when I say scrub, that's also meaning where the car slides. And anytime when the car slides, that's friction. When you have friction, that slows you down.
All All right, we take a look, and there's obviously not a lot of friction right now for Elio Castroneves. He is just slightly slower than the pole speed that's being held by Kanaan. Good lap number 1 for Castroneves, 227.167. One of the best qualifiers here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And a couple of years ago, when the conditions were just horrible for qualifying, the wind was gusting in topping directions, Castroneves pulled off what I think was one of the most incredible qualifying runs that I have seen in my 20 years here.
Yeah, it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. You know, his car did not show the speed, and they kept on working on it. They kept on working on it in between he and Tim Cindric and that team Penske. They really just rolled it out there, and he hit it dead nuts. I mean, it was just amazing. It really was probably one of the most impressive qualifying attempts I've ever seen.
Tim Cindric there, the president of Penske Motorsports, and of course the legendary open wheel icon Roger Penske, watching their 2-time Indy 500 winner Elio Castroneves, nicknamed Spider-Man because of his propensity to climb walls and climb fences after he wins races. He certainly has had 2 of those Spider-Man accomplishments here in Victory Lane. And lap 2, 227.103 as he's on lap 3 now. But great effort. I tell you, this morning in practice, Castroneves was at 227.6. So he's getting as much as he can get out of that Marlboro Team Penske effort.
He's about a half mile an hour slower. There he goes, 227.3. He's picked it up. So there's no doubt the conditions were a little bit faster this morning, but he's very, very consistent.
Well, if he can hold on, he would knock Danica Patrick off of the front row. He would become, he was 3rd quickest right now, and Patrick would slide back. And I promise you, after hearing from her parents and hearing from Danica, we're going to see more of Danica Patrick before this day is over.
I think it's something amazing to watch, too. I think it's a general consensus that Toyota probably has not as much horsepower as Honda right now. But if you look at how smooth he's been every single corner, he's the smoothest driver out there so far.
A thumbs up from Roger Penske. You don't get much better than that when the man who knows more about open wheel racing than has forgotten more than most of us would know. And Castroneves 227.077. The 4-lap average puts him 3rd quickest right now in qualifying. Let's head down to the other end of pit road and talk to one of the drivers who just qualified. Vince?
Standing by with Tomas Enge from the Czech Republic. And in the Czech, he's as popular as Michael Jordan is here in the U.S., but the fans still getting accustomed to this young driver here in the States. But a good run in your first qualifying attempt at Indianapolis. Was it comfortable from lap 1, or did it take a while before the car came to you?
Well, it was, let's say, comfortable after first 2 flying laps, because the first 2 I was not really sure if I'm gonna lose the car or if it's gonna push. You never know, because the tires are still not in the temperature properly, especially with this weather. But all the guys, Chevy people, you know, the engine was great. My mechanics and the whole team did a great job. So I'm happy that the run was very consistent. All the lap times within 1/10 of mile an hour. And that was great. So we hope we can something improve, but we are not sure if we go out again.
You've raced all over the world. You've raced at this facility for the Formula One event, the United States Grand Prix, but it's your first go here in Indianapolis. Were you nervous to qualify for the 500?
Well, of course, you are nervous always when you go to qualifying or to the race. I don't think anybody out here isn't nervous before that. So it's just, I think the experience makes a big difference. So I have experience already 13 years in racing. Most of the guys have even more, some of the guys less. So I think we are all about the same, and we just need to try to handle it as much as possible.
He took a big sigh of relief when he got out of the car. I don't think there were many breaths taken during that 4-lap qualifying run.
Well, he finished 14th at Indy in the U.S. Grand Prix in 2001, driving for the Prost Formula One team. Becomes the 3rd driver to drive in both the Indy 500 and the Formula One event at this racetrack, joining Juan Pablo Montoya and Jacques Villeneuve. And the XM Satellite Machine, 2-time pole sitter this year, Bryan Herta on the track. His teammate, by the way, right now sitting on the pole, Tony Kanaan, and Greg Ray sparks from beneath the Herta car.
Yeah, most of the cars on the early laps, the tire pressures are down. They're running the cars very, very low. And so that's just the sign of getting the setup very, very much on the edge. Bryan Herta is a very solid driver. He's got a lot of experience. And, you know, last year on his first attempt, first lap, turn 1, he crashed. So, you know, I know that was weighing on his mind. But, again, Andretti Green, Honda Power, he's got a great package there. And you never can count Bryan Herta out.
Bryan Herta trying to qualify for his 4th Indianapolis 500. His best start here came in his very first year here, driving for A.J. Foyt back in 1994. He qualified 22nd. His best finish 4th here, and he led 3 laps a year ago.
He looks very, very smooth out there. The car is low, but he's, you know, Bryan is a very, very smooth driver. I think it's showing out there already.
Lap 1, 2:24.287. That's lap 1 for Bryan Herta, the XM satellite machine for Andretti Green. There's a look at Kim Green, who's one of the co-owners. There are the 4 drivers, along with Kanaan, Franchitti, and Weldon. Kanaan is currently on the provisional pole with 4-lap average of 2:27.566. Bryan Herta set on the pole this year at Phoenix and at St. Petersburg in the very first street course event in the 10-year history of the Indy Racing League IndyCar Series. Had a huge success down in St. Petersburg.
Bryan Herta ran 2:26.5 this morning, so running his first lap at 2:24.2, second lap at 2:23.9. I know he's going to be a little disappointed with that.
Well, when you've been over 2:26 on the track already and you turn in the lap in the 2:23 range, I mean, you got to believe that he's not going to be a happy camper. What can he do inside the car now to make an adjustment to get some of that speed back?
Well, I'm sure he's flat. He looks very, very smooth. He's using all the track, so he's doing a great job. I'm sure that's just all the car will give him. So there's really nothing he can do. You know, I know they want to just get in the race, and I don't think that Bryan Herta ever puts all his effort into qualifying, but on race day, you know, he's going to show up.
Bryan Herta, of course, 31 IRL IndyCar Series starts. His only win coming in July of 2003 at Kansas. That win, of course, helping to get him a full-time ride, and deservedly so, with Andretti Green, one of the top teams here, one of the Honda-powered teams, and Honda certainly has been the heavyweight in the horsepower category this year with 3 wins and 4 starts.
Bryan Herta also running for Andretti Green. You know, Andretti Green really is the factory Honda team, and Bryan Herta is really, they have a different program for Bryan. It's more of a development type program, and so some days he has something that's better than everybody, whatever the other Honda teams have, and some days they're not as good.
Lap 4 for Herta, and the average speed for Bryan, the Valencia, California resident, 223.972 miles per hour, 10th quickest as Kim Green walks away. Gotta believe we'll see more of Bryan Herta as the day progresses as well. Back with more in just a moment.
Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the run for the pole for the 89th edition of the Indianapolis 500. I'm with 2-time Indy 500 winner Elio Castroneves, who was on the pole here at this great event in 2003. Didn't have a pole speed your first qualifying effort, but currently sitting on the outside of row 1. Is that the most you could get out of your Toyota in that first run?
If I wouldn't have a little trouble in the last lap, I would have said yes. But right now, the last lap, which really hurt us a lot, from second to third place, which we're talking about very few tenths of speed. But again, now the plan's going to start. We're going to have to wait and see.
With this new qualifying format, you have 3 attempts. But if you take a second attempt, you're pulling your first attempt out of line. At what point do you say, the risk isn't worth the reward? If
we end up like in a row 3, and we know the time we can make to row 1, we're going to go ahead and do it. Now, if the speeds all of a sudden increase tremendously, we know that we're going to gain only a few tenths of a mile.
Elio Castroneves fairly pleased with his qualifying attempt as you see Scott Dixon getting ready to begin his run.
And actually, Scott has just pulled back off the racetrack. He was going to begin his run a moment ago and pulled it back in, did not take the green flag, so something askew there. With Scott Dixon, and obviously we've already seen that Darren Manning was not pleased with his run. That's Dixon's teammate. Manning currently in the middle of row 4 in 11th out of 12th that have qualified, and Ryan Briscoe, the rookie driver and teammate of Dixon, smacked the wall in turn 1 on his second lap, so they still have some adjustments to make there. You see Michael Andretti standing to the left there. That is the president of IndyCar Series Racing, Brian Barnhart, getting ready to talk with Dario Franchitti.
Okay, Dario, I waited till the 9 came in. He's dry. That was driver choice. Just didn't feel comfortable to start the run. You got a very solid racetrack. Car looked good this morning. When you pull out, move right up on the racetrack, start bringing your tires in as you see fit. They'll wave the green to start the run third time by. No flag, a yellow flag's a non-attempt. Green starts your first attempt. 3 tries today, even if you're under completion. Check your flags, bring your tires up. Go give me 4 good ones. You know your number. Get them, buddy.
Well, you love that encouragement from Brian Barnhart. You know why he's so popular among the drivers. He's cheering for these guys. He wants each and every one to give the best they can give and get this car in the field. It's very comforting to hear those words, I got to believe, Greg.
Absolutely, and with talking about Dario Franchitti this morning, he was a 2:29.4. He was the second fastest car, just a little bit behind Danica Patrick. But the thing that I noticed throughout all the practice, he could go out there, do a fast warm-up lap, and then always put 4 consistent laps together. If you took 4 laps and averaged them together from this morning's practice, he would be the fastest car.
His teammate is on the pole right now, but Dario's as good as it comes when it comes to being consistent in the race car. His qualifying order in just a moment. Well, how about the rough day for some of the rookies? Danica Patrick has that wiggle right there in turn 1. She hangs on somehow, but should have been on the pole. How about the Briscoe bump? Lap 2, turn 1. Ryan Briscoe, the Australian rookie, gets a bump into the wall. And his target car says, settle down here for just a moment. Settles back down on the racetrack, minus the rear wing and some body parts. He's okay. But it has been a TK kind of day. Tony Kanaan, 7-11. He rolled the dice thus far in qualifying. And the green and white and red Andretti green car on the pole at 2:27.566. Let's check in down with Jamie and Chip Ganassi.
And Chip definitely has his work cut out for him today. 3 cars. We just saw Scott Dixon wave off. But let's talk about Ryan Briscoe, the rookie. What happened with him earlier?
Jamie, he just got down in the middle of turn 1 there and said, this got real light on him in the back end. We made a small adjustment, obviously, before he went out on the track, and it wasn't what the car liked. And Scott had a similar thing and pulled the car in. And Scott just said, look, it's way too loose. Let's make a small adjustment, get back in line.
Out here later today.
I think you'll see Ryan back out here today. Yeah, he was cleared by Dr. Bach to drive again. No problem. We'll put him in another car. And Scott, I'm sure we're rolling him back in line right away.
All right, good news for Chip Ganassi drivers. Dr. Punch.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Great work down there by Jamie Little and Vince Welch, our pit announcers, just running up and down pit road and gathering all the stories. Dario Franchitti, the Arca X machine, and no question that Dario has been quick thus far this year. He turned the fastest lap of the race at Phoenix and St. Petersburg. Didn't win either race at Phoenix. He was chasing Sam Hornish late in the day and smacked the wall trying to run Hornish down at St. Petersburg. Well, they couldn't keep the car full of fuel. They had to make 8 pit stops at St. Pete and still managed a top 5 finish. They finished 3rd there. And of course at Motegi, he had the car to beat. And on a restart, he'd be the first one to tell you, he got a little over anxious and tried to go by teammate Dan Weldon and got in the marbles and pancaked the wall. So if anyone has something to prove at Indianapolis, it is Dario Franchitti.
If Dario wakes up on the right side of the bed, he's always one of those guys that can be the fastest one out there. He always focuses on the details. And if you look at his helmet coming down the straightaway, he has the biggest pad on the right-hand side, which is pushing his helmet over to the left. What that does is clean up airflow to the airbox, and more air to the airbox is more horsepower, and he's focusing on the details right now.
As you're watching Brian Herta, his teammate is currently in 10th spot. As Herta has qualified 10th, Kanaan is also on the board at the fastest so far. Franchitti, the likable Scotsman who now lives in Nashville, Tennessee, married to Ashley Judd, the beautiful actress who has been out in Arkansas for the last 3 weeks filming a movie in Arkansas. We are told she will be here. She might be here today. We are told she may be able to come in for pole qualifying. Will definitely be here on race day. Because Dario Franchitti says, I want the Indy 500.
Yeah, he was very, very quick this morning. Again, 2:29.4. His first qualifying lap, 2:26.1. Again, very, very solid. Second lap, 2:22.4. Definitely falling off here. So, again, a solid attempt, but Dario is going to be very disappointed in that. I'm sure we'll see him out there again.
I've got to believe we'll see him back out again. He started on the front row last year in the Andretti Green Machine. Started 3rd, finished 14th, led a lap a year ago. Of course, a 2-time winner in IndyCar Series competition last year. It wins at Milwaukee and Pikes Peak on the 1-mile ovals.
He's coming in.
Well, he decided to call it off and not even count an attempt. As you see Kim Green there, they have the yellow flag out. They will wave that off for Dario Franchitti. Not even close to what he was this morning. So that will not be even considered an attempt since he didn't complete the run. So I guess they waive it off, so it is considered an attempt. So he'll have 2 more attempts remaining for the day. What am I thinking about? Kim Green walks over and talks with Dario Franchitti, and he will obviously not be very happy with the speed they've got, as Vince is standing by with his teammate, Bryan Herta.
Well, Bryan, you were keeping particular eye on Dario's qualifying run because your cars were set up very similar.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't work out too good for him yet either, so I think we both have a little bit of work still to do today.
We've had several drivers come in, yourself included, that said the car was, pretty comfortable and free and we're flat out, but it's just not going as fast as you expected. Any idea why?
Well, I think compared to this morning, there's a lot of cars on the track and there's a lot of drafting going on, and I think, it's somewhat deceptive sometimes the big speeds you see in practice with the drafts, but really, I think just all I can speak of is for us, and I was hoping for something in the mid 225s, and obviously we're not there yet. Leads us to believe that you'll go out for a second qualifying attempt. Leads you to believe I want to go out for a second qualifying attempt. I still got to talk to the team and see what they want to do.
Thank you, Bryan. Let's go upstairs to Doc.
You love the honesty from Bryan Herta. When we come back, the former series winner, former winner of this race here back in 1996, Buddy Lazier on the racetrack. Back at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Panther Bird Brothers Racing entry for 1996 winner Buddy Lazier. He's a 2000 series champion here in IndyCar competition. His first start since this race a year ago has been awfully good this morning in practice, over 227.2 in practice. His first lap by was 226.439. Good run thus far with the Chevy power.
Yeah, Buddy Lazier is the self-definition of tenacious. He's always trying 100% out there. And if you look at their car out there, they're running the car a little bit higher. It's not bottoming out like some of the other cars. I saw it bottom out once, but not nearly as much. This morning, Buddy Lazier went 227.2. He's a little bit slower, but for their effort, I know they're going to be very happy with that.
We mentioned the Bird brothers. They are Jonathan the second and David 28. As you take a look at the folks from Panther there. Of course, Jonathan Bird, for many, many years, a fixture here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's the Bird brothers, Jonathan and David. Their dad, Jonathan, suffered a stroke last August. Is watching from a facility down in Greenwood, Indiana. Very, very proud of continuing the Bird name here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as an entrant on the car here for Buddy Lazier.
Yeah, his rear wing is really laid back as well. They have a lot of downforce out of the car. He's definitely flat out, very, very smooth, kind of down below that white line there, so he's getting away with that. But his first 3 laps are all within 3/100ths of a second, so very, very consistent.
They're taking a look. There is Jonathan the second, the 29-year-old, the older of the 2 brothers, and he's pleased right now. You see David clapping in the background there. They're pleased very much with what they're seeing for the average for Buddy Lazier. 226.353 miles per hour, the 4-lap average for the former winner here at Indianapolis.
With a very happy Bird Brothers contingent. Doug Bowles as well from Pennzoil Panther Racing Team. David Bird and Jonathan Bird. Congratulations on a good solid run. Congratulations and welcome back to Indianapolis. First of all, I know the Bird family's been around this great facility for a long time, but with Buddy Lazier, a former winner, and then the opportunity to have such a strong qualifying average, 226.3, like a dream come true for you, isn't it?
Pretty happy with that. It's a big time dream come true. Big time.
Outside of row 2, Jonathan, maybe just an update on how your dad's doing, and I'm sure how happy he would be to hear the good news today.
Well, first of all, hi, Dad. I know you're watching, and he's doing really a lot better than where he was. He's doing his therapies every day, and he knows what's going on. We're just really excited for him, and we're excited to do this for him, and he's doing good. He's maybe next year we'll be out here, and in honor, this is his best start ever, a Jonathan Bird car ever, to start the Indy 500.
Congratulations on a good run, you guys. Let's go back upstairs.
We mentioned Jonathan and his wife Jenny in Greenwood, Indiana, at a facility. There's a look at Jenny, and very proud of having an entry here in this year's Indy 500. Back in a moment. And back at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, pole day continues here. We're watching Richie Hearn, a 34-year-old driver from Glendale, California, in the Meyer Coca-Cola Sam Schmidt entry. And it is Chevy powered, by the way. 4th consecutive year that Hearn has been driving for Sam Schmidt. And the first time he's been able to run the entire month, that not having to jump in on bump weekend since 1996 when he came here with John Della Penna. There's a look at Sam Schmidt, the former driver and car owner. Has had so much success in the Menards Infiniti Pro Series. He's won the last 2 titles there as a car owner, now entering a car here that they purchased from Roger Penske. This is a Panos chassis. In fact, Greg Ray is the only Panos chassis ever to have a Chevy engine in it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They're the only package out there that's the Chevrolet Panos G-Force car. So they have something that nobody else has. If they can make that work, that's going to be a great benefit for them. He ran 2:23.9 this morning. He's just a little bit off of that, but again, very solid effort for these guys.
He is currently 13th. The slowest car in the field, 14th, is Alex Barron right now at 2:19.958. And of course, the quickest car in the field thus far in qualifying, that of Tony Kanaan at 2:27.566. 4-lap average 2:22.707. And solidly in the field right now at 13th spot for the first effort. Let's hear from Sam Schmidt. He's down with Jamie.
Well, the look on his face is kind of, I'm not sure. Sam, you have 4 cars in Menards Infiniti Pro Series race coming up in 2 weeks, and you have 1 car here in the 500. Congratulations, you got in, but you don't look too thrilled with the run.
Well, we were running 223s and 224s on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I think we just didn't hit the gearing here today. But you know, we're solidly in the show, which is an accomplishment, and we know we've got a great race car, so we'll hang out. I don't think we'll go back up this afternoon, but we'll see.
You know, the last few times you guys have been at the 500 together, you and Richie, you haven't had the entire month's effort. How important is it to be here 3 weeks before the race?
It's extremely important, and like I said, we were working on primarily race setup all week, and so I know we got a dynamite race car. We would have hoped to start a little farther forward, but I think we'll be pretty good on race day.
All right, keep up the good work. Sam Schmidt, and Vince is with a very happy family. Vince?
Yeah, Buddy Lazier and the Bird family here celebrating a very strong run for Buddy Lazier. 6th quick currently on the outside of row 2. You're a former winner here. You kind of have a reputation of being a guy who will attack the track, a bulldog type of mentality. But you have had the luxury to kind of enjoy this week of practice here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, I really have. You know, the Team Panther and the Bird Brothers team, this is a combination of those 2 guys. It's a rocket ship. My engineer, Andy Brown, guy is awesome. He is so switched on, and it's just a great race team. So we kind of circled 2:27s. That's what we wanted. We came up a little bit short, but right now that was about as fast as we had. The wind caught me in 2, and I had to feather it a little bit, and that cost us a half a mile an hour, but pretty close to a real good run.
You've won this race. You did it with a broken back, so you defied the odds in so many ways. What will it take to taste the milk again on May 29th?
Well, you know, you just got to timing. You know, you got to put yourself in the right place at the right time, and you got to have a fast car, and this is a rocket ship. So I have by far one of my best chances in so many years to win this race. We're going to be tough on race day. We got the right motor, right car. I got the right team. Everything's right. So I'm looking forward to race day. And it's just a rocket ship. And when you got a fast car here, it's just so much fun.
Buddy Lazier currently sitting 6th in qualifying for the 89th Indianapolis 500. Doc?
Thank you very much, Vincey. On the racetrack right now, a 24-year-old driver from Indianapolis. In fact, he lives just a few blocks away here in Speedway, Indiana. We're talking about Ed Carpenter driving for Vision Racing. The Vision, of course, is stepdad Tony George and mom Laura George. Putting this team together because what better way to show your commitment here than invest in the series that you're a major part of. There's a look at Tony and Laura as they've been watching Ed Carpenter in the early laps here go out and try to get it up to speed. Currently 15th overall, and he shuts it down. They are not where they want to be speed-wise. That's why they were walking away. Larry Curry, the veteran engineer, Kevin Kay and company trying to get this car up to speed. So that attempt will not count there for Ed Carpenter. And next car to qualify, well, this guy nearly won it over at Motegi, running out of fuel with 2 laps to go. Everyone says he is one of the main Chevy cogs here, one of the big bullets for Chevy in qualifying. Can Schechter get it done? Let's hear what Brian Barron has to say to him.
Thomas, the 20 pulled off early. I'm going to make sure he's dry before we get going on here. When you pull out, go right up on the racetrack. Start bringing up your tires to the temperature you want them to be. Get a look at your flags for wind direction and velocity. You got a good racetrack out there. Guys just running some quick laps, so you're going to get the green flag 3rd time by. 4 laps to completion. This would start your first attempt on the car. Yellow flag or no flag's a non-attempt. You get 3 runs today, even if you run to completion. So go out there and give me 4 smooth ones. I'll make sure the track's good before we send you. Have a good run.
All right, those are the words of Brian Barnhart. And Gregory, I've got to ask you, when you ask people, give me the word association with Tomas Schechter, and most of the guys will say fearless. I mean, because he absolutely pushes it right to the limit and a little beyond.
Well, I think fearless might be the wrong word. Brave and confident, those words definitely come to mind. I mean, he is a lot of fun out of the car. He's also very committed to the car. This is a guy that is not afraid to take risks. You know, if you don't get in the batter's box, you're never going to hit a home run. I guarantee you this guy's going to hit home runs. You know, this morning, the fastest lap was 2:20.8. I really expected to see him a little faster this morning. He ran 2:27.5. I think he's got more than that, but we'll just have to see.
All right, as he pulls away, let's check in where Vince is standing by with Richie Hearn.
Richie Hearn and the All-American team, American chassis, American engine, the Chevrolet, and the American driver, but not a very happy driver. What's the matter?
Honestly, I don't know why we can't get out of our own way out there. I mean, I ran faster with full tanks earlier in the week. I don't know, pretty disappointed. You know, things not very fast at all. So I don't even know what to do. So it just, I mean, the car feels good. It just isn't going.
We'll keep an eye on your position. Best of luck. Let's go to Jamie Little.
Doug Bowles, one of the 3 owners for Tomas Schechter, number 4. After practice this morning, how are you guys feeling about your setup?
I feel real good about the setup. We just, the weather conditions are a little bit better for us now, so hopefully we can go put this on the front row somewhere.
Perhaps the luck can turn around here, guys. We'll see if you can get it in the program.
What's that? I can hear.
Perhaps you guys will turn your luck around after the year that you've had. You've had some ups and some downs.
Yeah, we've done well on the track. We've had a few things that have gotten in our way. Japan we're using as a springboard. We led that race with just a couple laps to go, so we think we can do that here. This is the one we want to win, so we're going to do everything we can for Pennzoil and all our other partners.
All right, they have a lot of momentum. They led 47 laps in Japan. We'll see how Tomas Schechter does here. Talk to Punch.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. 24-year-old Tomas Schechter. Yes, he is the son of the 1979 Formula One world champion, Jody Schechter. If you're wondering why this Pennzoil car isn't the typical Pennzoil yellow, and we've seen Pennzoil yellow since the early days of USAC here, is because of it's got the new platinum paint job, the Platinum D oil that Pennzoil is coming out with, and they and considering how well they have run this month, they may want to keep it platinum for quite a while. This morning, Greg Ray, he was over 227.5.
Yeah, you know, he was the fastest car on Friday, and I watched that lap. He did it all on his own. I think I certainly expected him to be a little faster this morning, but you never know how close these guys are playing their cars to their chest or what they can do. They know Tomas will get it up for qualifying, so it's going to be very exciting. And I think one of the easiest ways to describe Tomas Schechter is it doesn't matter whether he's in the fastest car, or the first car, or the last car. He is fun to watch, and he's very dynamic. He's going to stand on the gas.
Oh, he's fun in the car and out. You got to love Tomas Schechter. He's just a great guy to be around, and is incredible talent. In fact, the first 2 times he ran here in the Indy 500, he led the most laps in both races. Back in 2002 for Red Bull, Cheever led 85 laps, crashed in turn 4 while leading, ended up winning co-rookie of the year that year with Alex Barron. And then 2 years ago in 2003 for Target Ganassi, he led 63 laps, led the most laps, and finished the race in 4th spot. And of course, last year with Panther, they finished a lap down in 18th position. So trying to get maybe his first start on the front row this year, because this team getting stronger and stronger. And Chevy, boy, give a call to the Bowtie Brigade, as the guys from Chevrolet have worked very hard, and they've said each week, each race this year, they've gotten better and better, and almost pulled off the big win on Honda's home track at Motegi last week.
Yeah, there's no doubt that first lap was 2:26.19. That's probably not going to be fast enough unless he's able to run 2:28s or 2:29s. You know, but again, the rules package are going to allow him to go out and maybe take another shot at it. Something to think about here is Helio Castroneves is a 2-time winner, and he's led 134 laps here. Tomas Schechter has not won. He's led 148 laps here. He knows his way around this place.
No doubt about it. If the car will run at all, he will put it up front. Right side of your screen, you're watching John Barnes and Doug Bowles, 2 of the owners for Panther Racing. And of course, these guys over the years, they are the winningest team, by the way, in IRL IndyCar Series history. They have 14 wins. Andy Brown, the chief engineer there, a major part of that. Their last victory, though, it's been almost 2 years. California back in 2003 with Sam Hornish in what was the fastest race ever, a race that averaged over 207 miles an hour. Lap 3 for Schechter. His first 2 laps, 2:26.194, and then 2:26.073. He has yet to crack the 2:27 mark where he was in practice this morning. He's at 2:27.5. Now he drops down to 2:25.899. So obviously you see that plus in the screen there, plus .916. That means how much more time it's taking him to get around than the others here on the speedway. Currently 8th of the cars, of the 14 cars that have qualified.
Looks like they're probably going to take this time and put it in the bank, but I think you can certainly count on these guys coming back, making another attempt. I know Tomas wants to go for it, and certainly the Panther Pennzoil team does as well.
Lap 4 coming by. His average speed 2:26.031, 8th quickest thus far in qualifying. And let's hear what the owners have to say down at the upper end of pit road with Jamie Little.
Well, Doug Bowles, you guys have 2 more attempts. What are we going to see? Are you going to go for a run for the pole once again?
I don't know. I think right now we're pretty excited to be in the field. We'll sit down, look at it, see what we see from the engineers, see how the conditions unfold today, and there may be an opportunity for us to go back out. But right now we're just happy to have them all in.
You know, we're all talking about Tomas Schechter. How we describe him? How would you describe him as a person?
He's a great guy. We've gotten to know him very well. He's got a great personality. He's around the shop a lot. The guys really enjoy him, so he's a lot of fun to have around.
Fun and fearless.
He's definitely fearless. That's for sure.
All right, that's Tomas Schechter, number 4, guys.
All right, Roger Yasakawa will take it the next one we come back in the Dry and Ride Bowl machine. We'll see what Roger can do here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway when we come back with more pole qualifying in a moment.